Hello, and welcome to this new video from Olfert&Co. My name is Tobias, glad to have you with us again. Today, we want to take a detailed look at the Garmin MARQ Generation 2 Adventurer. I think this is actually one of the most interesting models and one of the most sought after models, at least in Generation 1. Therefore, we want to focus a bit more specifically on it. What are the new features? What can the model do? And we'll do that in the next few minutes. If you'd like to continue supporting us. You know the drill, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tune in next time. But for now, enjoy the Garmin MARQ. So, in front of us, we now have the box of the Garmin MARQ Adventurer, 2nd generation, so please don't be surprised. These are just here in front. Full models, so if there are any scratches or damages, that can happen sometimes. It might also be that minor things on the packaging still change. But nevertheless, let's take a look at it now. I believe the box will remain as it is. This is the classic Garmin MARQ, incredibly high quality. In my opinion, there's nothing to improve there. Here you have a great metal box. I'll take it out now. On the left, we also have the documentation and information about it, but we'll set that aside. And here we have the actual watch box. Really nice and high quality, made of metal with the plastic lid and Garmin logo. And when we lift the whole thing, we are greeted by the stylish, new Garmin MARQ Adventurer. Very nicely done. Maybe you've already seen our overview video on the general MARQ Adventurer 2 collection. But here, I think the Adventurer is definitely worth showing in detail again. And that's why we're just going to take another look inside. Here we have a separate compartment with a cardboard slider. And underneath that, there's the box for the accessories. There we have the new charging cable. I'll gladly show you that again in a moment. It's really a great improvement. And then there's the additional silicone band, which has also greatly improved. But we can take a look at that together in a moment as well. I'll set the accessories aside for now, and I would say we start with the Adventurer. So first of all, let's remove the film. We want to see the display because there we already have the first milestone. The first huge difference compared to the predecessor because we now have an AMOLED screen installed here, this time at 1.2 inches or 30.4 millimeter. And AMOLED, I think you can see it right away in the first images. It's super sharp, very easy to read, with great brightness. So no comparison anymore to the previous generation. It has improved tremendously. Some might have already seen it with the Garmin Epix in the 2nd generation. This is also where an amulet was used for the first time, and that is a milestone. So it's incredible. Good. So hopefully you can see it incredibly sharp. And not only do we have an AMOLED screen here now, but we have also incorporated the touchscreen. That means the Garmin MARQ 2 generation ultimately also has a touchscreen. Some missed it, or now Garmin has caught up with its top model, and we can really swipe through everything here. Very conveniently, we can display the details back, so that's a great feature. Also super responsive, so you don't have any delay or anything like that here. It responds immediately. And Garmin has, of course, improved everything on this watch. We also have sapphire glass installed in this model, making it scratch resistant as well. And also the case, we continue to use titanium, which we also had in the 1st generation. However, we've made a huge leap here as we've now moved up to titanium grade 5, meaning a different composition, more robust, and also a bit lighter compared to the predecessor. So that's a nice leap, a great improvement. The case dimensions, or rather the diameter hasn't changed. We still have 40 centimeter case diameter. I think that's a great size. Especially now with the touch screen, you need a bit of space to operate it properly. And what's also great is the overall improvement. We have already seen the working speed. In addition, we have multi-frequency reception from global satellite systems with ZyQ technology. That means the watch it's incredibly fast when it comes to finding a GPS signal. The first generation, sometimes you had the moment you were in some worldly areas or in buildings or densely populated regions. It just took forever to find a satellite signal. And here it feels like if you were to go outside now, it would definitely work immediately. So you only have to wait a few seconds at most. This has improved massively, and it actually works inside buildings too. So we see it here now. We are actually right here in Wienbrück at this spot in our store. And therefore, this is actually a bunker. You can't find anything else here. It's a really great story. And the Adventurer is generally aimed at adventurers. So that means people who spend a lot of time outdoors, mountaineers, hikers, and accordingly, we also have some additional features. Or also here, the Expedition, several menu items that are specifically made for this area have been made. Right here, as an author, we can just take another look. It's incredible. What's available here, also nice. You can see here, there's a new folder category set up. You can also add new sports that you want to include, like running. Gym, you can select the watch categories and then delve deeper into the system. That's pleasing, and the entire watch is pleasing. Indeed, you can really feel the high quality, and many are probably thinking now, yes, now we have an AMOLED screen. Now the battery life is probably worse, but don't worry. We still achieve a battery life of up to 16 days here. That's official, especially here in smartwatch mode. And here you can see it again at the top. So we now have 9 days of remaining battery life, and that's with the battery half or 2/3 full. And when using the GPS, like when running or hiking or similar activities, depending on which sport you use it for, we achieve up to 42 hours. Of course, we have covered all sports and possibilities further. We can swim with the watch. It is still waterproof up to 100 meters. And of course, it offers everything one could wish for. Now I've already turned the watch a little bit, and you can already see the difference from the front because we now have a new strap on the watch. Many found the Vancetta leather strap very beautiful, and I also found it very beautiful. We have continued to use a high-quality leather strap here, now with the stitching. We no longer have these two crosses at the lug, but we have a massive improvement which is located on the back. Because inside we have a rubber construct here. We have applied a rubber coating here for making it significantly more durable. So this is a really, really great feature. It naturally allows sweat to be transported away much better. You can simply wipe it down briefly with a damp cloth, not over the leather. This way, the leather doesn't absorb as much and is correspondingly much more durable. The strap makes a great impression. It is nicely solid, also somewhat glossy, if you can say it like that. So it actually shows that it is nicely thick and solid. That makes me really happy. And since we're already on the back side, here we find the sensor for heart rate, and of course also for oxygen saturation, and so on. So it's incredible what these watches now simply bring as standard, which I probably don't even find worth mentioning anymore, because they now feel like they are taken for granted, which is not the case. But if we take a look from the back now, I mentioned earlier, there is a new charger here. This is a new adapter. In the past, with the old models, some might remember, there were such charging clamps. It was always a bit of a hassle. You had to look closely and clamp it onto the display. That wasn't the optimal solution. Now we have 4 such dots here. Dots, that you can see, and as mentioned, this is the new charger, and it is magnetic. I can simply bring it close, and it immediately attaches and is secure. You no longer have to look closely. I can also place it at an angle, and it attaches so it's nice and sturdy. It doesn't fall off immediately, and I think that's an incredibly good improvement. Especially in terms of longevity, which is also nice, the charging time or the charging speed has also improved. The watch charges very quickly with this cable, so after about half an hour, we've already gotten quite a bit of juice into the watches, which definitely wasn't the case before. Perhaps also worth mentioning, we always have the topographic maps pre-installed on the models for Europe, or rather internationally, and for Europe, also the golf and ski maps. These are pre-installed on all markets. So that's an incredible added value. That really stands out. And let's take another look at the quick system from the back. There we can easily and quickly release the band. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we also have the Robert included in the package, simply the black one. This is also standardly installed on the Garmin MARQ Athlete and has proven to be a significantly better variant, simply more comfortable, softer than it was in the first generation. And we can simply clip it on, and we already have an almost completely different watch, a different look, and we can go swimming with it. Engage in water sports or just sports in general, depending on your preference. So the silicone bands are simply the best suited and super robust. Of course, they come in many different colors, which will all be available gradually in the assortment and are priced at $129.99 and up, depending on what kind of band you need. I would say the Jacquot nylon bands, they go up to $299, so there's definitely more coming in. But in that context, I would say let's take another look at the case dimensions. And we come to a hand-measured size of 46.1 in diameter. The case height is 16.5 when measured with the sensor. If I measure it without the sensor, then we are only at 14.9 millimeter because the sensor disappears into the back of the hand and does not rest on it. And the lug-to-lug distance is 53.7 millimeters. So now let's take another look at the weight of the Adventurer 2, and we come to 94.1 G. And finally, I have put the model on for you again. You can see it now on my wrist, still 18 to 18.5 centimeter in circumference. And I just find the Adventurer amazing. I think it wears wonderfully. It looks good. Can be equipped with all kinds of straps here. Yes, equipped. And I also really like the new leather strap. It is super comfortable to wear here as well. The rubber lining on the inside is very pleasant. And here, simply chic with the display. So that is pleasing. And now also with the touchscreen, I really find that great. Price-wise, in case I haven't mentioned it yet, we've gone up a bit. We are now at €22.50 for the watch in the accessory package, so with the additional strap that is included in the delivery. And of course the charger. Feel free to let us know your opinion on the watch. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about it, how you like the second generation of the Garmin MARQ. Feel free to just write it in the comments. So unfortunately, we are already at the end of our video on the Garmin MARQ Adventurer Generation 2. We hope, of course, that you enjoyed the video and especially the watch. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, you can find the link to the watch, as always, in the video description below. And with that, I would say we'll see each other again next time. Take care. Bye.